Whenever the topic of domestic violence comes up, there's a question you hear over and over again. It's a question that often comes from a place of confusion, maybe even frustration, because from the outside, the situation can seem incomprehensible. Why don't they just leave? It sounds so simple, right? Like it's a straightforward choice between staying in a bad situation or just walking away. But the reality? Oh, it's so much more complex. And the real answer reveals this powerful, often totally invisible form of control that we really need to talk about. Because for a staggering number of people, the decision isn't just about walking out the door. It's about whether there's even a door to walk to. The chains holding them in place aren't just emotional. They're literally forged from dollars and cents, from debt and total dependency. So this really brings us to the heart of the issue. To truly understand why leaving is so incredibly hard, we have to first recognize one of the most powerful tools in an abuser's toolkit: financial abuse. So what exactly is financial abuse? Well, at its core, it's a form of domestic violence where someone uses money to get power and control over their partner. It's all about systematically taking away their financial independence, maybe by preventing them from earning money or controlling all the spending to make sure they're completely trapped. And it can be really subtle at first, often escalating over time. To make this a bit more real, let's just think about a few questions. For example, has a partner ever stopped someone from getting a job or going to work? Sabotaging their employment? That's a classic tactic to make sure they're totally dependent. Or think about this one: having to ask for money for absolute essentials like groceries or shoes for the kids. See, this isn't about two people managing a family budget together. This is about one person holding all the power, turning every single basic need into a moment of control. And this one, wow. This is a huge one with devastating long-term consequences. Has someone been forced or tricked into taking out loans or credit cards in their own name? This can absolutely destroy a person's credit for years, making it almost impossible to rent an apartment, get a car, or build a new life, even long after they've escaped. So after hearing just those few examples, this number might not be a huge surprise, but it is still shocking. Up to 90% of people who seek help for domestic violence are also experiencing financial abuse. This is not some small niche issue. It is a core, fundamental part of domestic violence. So the control is personal. It's happening inside the home. But the barriers to escaping it, well, they're often systemic. It's not just about what's going on behind closed doors. The world outside can present its own set of hurdles that make breaking free feel completely impossible. Let's just unpack some of these. You've got the double burden, where women are often expected to be the primary caregiver and try to hold down a job. Then there are patriarchal norms, where maybe family members don't offer support, or worse, they blame the victim. Financial systems themselves can be biased. And on top of all that, throw in a lack of flexible jobs that actually work with childcare, and a culture that can be skeptical of a woman's story, and you've got a whole system that can unintentionally keep someone trapped. And this isn't just a theory, it's backed by solid research. AINROSE, which is Australia's national research organization for women's safety, confirms it. They found that financial issues are a major factor in a woman's decision about whether to leave or stay, and that economic hardship, it doesn't just go away when they leave. It can ripple through the rest of their life. Okay, so the problem is clear, and the barriers are immense. But what's the solution? How do you go from identifying these chains to actually breaking them? Well, the good news is there are organizations out there building a real, tangible roadmap to independence. Take a look at this. This is the Global Sisters Roadmap, and it lays out a clear path forward. It's a long-term support system that's designed to help women go all the way, from just a tiny idea to a real, sustainable business. It's built on 3 key stages: educate, incubate, and accelerate. And the whole thing is wrapped in a supportive community. It's not a quick fix, it's a journey. So, how does a journey like this even begin? Well, it starts with small, manageable steps. First up, community. This is so critical. It's about breaking that isolation that abuse thrives on and building connections and confidence. Then there's a workshop called My Big Idea, which helps women figure out a realistic path to earning their own income. And finally, Sister School gives them the basic business skills to turn that idea into an actual plan. It's all about building that self-belief one step at a time. Of course, a model is only as good as its real-world results, right? And this is where we see the truly profound human impact of this kind of support, through the stories of the women who've actually walked this path. Let's talk about Anne. She was trapped in a marriage where her husband controlled everything. Every cent. She eventually escaped with her 2 daughters, but she was left with a huge amount of debt that had been taken out in her name. Through Global Sisters, she found the support to start her own gifting business, which gave her not just an income, it gave her hope, confidence, and a whole new beginning. And Anne's experience isn't a one-off. It's echoed by so many others. I love this quote from Amy, who founded Zen Tea Lounge. She just says, "Being a part of our sister community was life-changing." That right there shows you that the community and the human connection are just as important as the business plan. It's that combination that's truly transformative. And these powerful stories are absolutely backed by the data. This isn't just a few isolated successes. By the end of 2020, Global Sisters had already supported almost 4,000 women. They helped plan nearly 800 businesses and facilitated over $2.2 million in external support. What this shows is a scalable, effective model for creating real, genuine economic security. So when you pull all of this together, a really clear theme emerges. The key to lasting freedom isn't just one thing. It's about building an entire supportive ecosystem around women who are fighting for their independence. And here's the absolute bottom line, the crucial point in all of this. Financial independence isn't just the key to leaving an abusive relationship. It is the key to staying out for good. Without that economic security, the risk of having to go back is always there. Earning an income provides a sustainable path to safety and freedom. The transformation is it's profound. It's a journey from a state of total dependency, which is all about control, isolation, debt, and fear, to a state of true independence, which is built on income, community, confidence, and safety. It's a complete 180 in a person's life and their future. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. We've seen the problem, we've seen how deep it runs, but we've also seen a powerful solution at work. So the question for all of us becomes, how can we, as a society, build more of these supportive ecosystems? How do we create a world that really recognizes and truly backs the brilliance of every single woman who is seeking her own path to freedom?